tariffs. We knew it was going to provoke a market reaction.
Very early round of tariffs.
The tariffs aren't going anywhere.
Didn't consider tariffs.
Tariffs.
Tariffs have hit the e-commerce world. Many countries are seeing more than 100% tariffs, and many sellers are feeling anxious about what could potentially happen in their business. In this video, I want to cover what's currently happening with tariffs and how it affects print-on-demand, t-shirt, and apparel sellers, and what you can do during this time to not only survive, but continue to crush your sales and even grow your business. Let's dive in. First of all, what is happening right now? And I want to be clear in starting this video, I am not a tariff expert. I'm not a global trade expert. And I also want to say up front, this is not in any way a political video. I'm creating this video because I want to help print-on-demand t-shirt and apparel sellers in my community navigate potential changes that could happen and kind of just what to do during this time. Firstly, I haven't personally seen any print-on-demand changes with print-on-demand providers, at least the large ones that I kind of keep tabs on. I want you to comment down below if you have heard from your print-on-demand provider or if you've seen anything out there of any for sure changes happening from print-on-demand providers. So I'm making this video kind of like in advance of potential changes that could happen, but I haven't currently seen any actual changes in pricing or anything like that from major print-on-demand providers. Essentially, without getting too deep into the tariff talk, the president has imposed over 100% tariffs on China. This means anything you are getting from China could potentially become more expensive. Now, this is where we are as of the time of recording this video. This is a fast moving subject. Things are changing almost daily. So this is where we're at as of right now, that any products that you are selling in your business that are being made in China and manufactured in China could potentially go up pretty significantly in price. We haven't seen that yet, but that could be happening very soon. As a side note, this shouldn't necessarily affect international selling, meaning if you're selling in countries outside of the US and that product that you're selling is coming from China, there shouldn't be additional tariffs that you're seeing that you didn't have before all this happening because the product is being made in China and shipped to somewhere that's not the US. So you shouldn't see any changes there. Now, if you are selling a product that's made in the US and you're actually selling that to someone in another country, there could be export tariffs on that product. So that is something you will want to check. I think that's probably a very outlier case, but there could be things there. To wrap up this section of the video, the president did impose pretty high tariffs on many countries around the globe, but then he added a 90-day pause on those tariffs with the exception of China. So most countries, you're not gonna see really any or much of an effect for right now as we're in this 90-day pause, with the exception of China. So where we really wanna pay attention to are those products being made in China. Number two, are prices going up for print-on-demand sellers? And what I would say to that is, maybe. We need to wait for direction from the print-on-demand providers to let us know if their costs are going up, because they are the ones more sourcing the products from these different countries. And so they need to let us know if they'll be raising prices on those products or making any adjustments, and then we can make adjustments from there. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I haven't yet seen any changes or announcements from print-on-demand providers. There are many factors here when trying to figure out if print-on-demand suppliers will actually raise prices. I think many print-on-demand providers, as are many other countries, they're kind of... If you're watching this video and you're either a brand new online apparel seller, or maybe you've been selling for a while, but you're trying to get those sales to take off, I want to invite you to go check out my free class over at shirtschool.com. I have a program called Shirt School, been able to help thousands of people start, grow, and scale profitable online apparel businesses over the last 5+ years. And I created this class to kind of break down that system, show you some successful students, and give you a lot of really good tips and knowledge in just a 60 to 70 minute free class. So if you're interested in watching that, sit down, throw it on the TV, pull it up on your iPad, your laptop, and grab a notepad. There's lots of gold shared in that class. You can watch it completely free, and you can get some details on my program, Shirt School, and how it works. And you can just go over to shirtschool.com to give that class a watch. Back to the video. I think many print-on-demand providers, as are many other countries, they're kind of waiting it out to see if these tariffs will stick, if they will go up or go down, if they'll be removed. They're kind of waiting to see what will happen. So they don't want to make big pricing changes in the interim when they're not sure what the future is going to hold. Many print-on-demand providers may be willing to eat some of the cost in the interim and not pass on that cost to you as a seller. They may also decide to only pass part of the cost on to you. For instance, if they have a 25% rise in the cost of a product, they may decide it's worth it to only pass 10 or 15% of that cost onto you. So you as the seller may not see the full effect of these tariff percentages. It's not as easy as looking at a country's tariff of 25 or 50% and saying, oh, my product cost is going to go up 25 or 50%. It depends on where you're sourcing those products. And if you're sourcing from a print-on-demand provider, they're going to set that product cost to you, and they might decide to not pass on that full tariff percentage over to you as the seller. Here's some good news. Right now, tariffs are mainly only going to affect products made in China. And many print-on-demand products have multiple countries that they are made in and they can be sourced from. So you might see with many products that print-on-demand providers can shift where they are getting those products from, allowing them to not raise costs for you as the seller. As another example, I think t-shirts and apparel will not be affected much at all. Now, the reason I believe this is because many large t-shirt manufacturers have multiple countries that they actually manufacture t-shirts in. They don't have a central factory, maybe just in one country where they manufacture t-shirts. For example, Gildan has many factories where they make their t-shirts and apparel, and they actually have a lot of factories in Central America, such as Honduras, Nicaragua, and the Dominican Republic. So this means a company like Gildan, even if they do have a factory in China, they may be able to shift their production over to one of their other many factories in other countries to avoid the tariffs altogether or get a much lower tariff percentage. In the last part of this video, I want to talk about what you can do to prepare and adjust if tariffs do affect your business. Number one, stay current on what is happening. It is really important that you read your emails from your print-on-demand providers, that you check their website, hit the newsroom link on their website, make sure that you're looking for any banners or any announcements on their websites. Pay close attention to if your print-on-demand provider is changing the costs on their products. That's going to be number one. You don't want your costs to just go up in the background and you not notice, and then your margins are affected. You want to be able to proactively make changes based on changes that might be happening with your print-on-demand provider. So as I mentioned, this is a very fast-moving topic, sometimes from day to day. So as a business owner in this space, you want to pay close attention to what your suppliers are doing. If you're in print-on-demand, pay close attention to your print-on-demand provider, the emails you're getting from them. If you're sourcing t-shirts and apparel directly from a company or from a supplier like SS Activewear, Statin, or one of these other ones, you want to pay close attention to if they are changing your pricing or what's happening. Just stay current with what's happening. Number two, pick suppliers in low tariff or non-tariffed countries. As I mentioned, t-shirts are made everywhere, and many t-shirts are even made here in the USA. So you can shift some of your core blanks and some of your core apparel products to blanks that are made in low tariff or non-tariff countries. And it's not just USA. Obviously, if you pick a USA blank, that cost might be higher than if you have a blank made in China. But there are other countries, many other countries, where blanks are made. And if you can pick some of those blanks that are made in the non-tariff or low tariff countries, that's gonna keep your costs low. And my biggest tip here would be avoid China at all costs. Right now, the tariffs are crazy on China, so you don't want to be selling products or apparel blanks that are being manufactured in China. So doing some research, figuring out where your current products are being manufactured, and then maybe shifting your product blanks over to other products that are similar but might be being made in other countries would be a good proactive step. Number three, raise prices as needed. Obviously, if your print-on-demand provider raises their costs, or if your supplier raises their costs, you may need to raise the cost to your customers to keep those margins steady. Now, if you're in print-on-demand, you can also look for alternative blanks and products to, again, shift your primary products over to other products that might have different costs, right? We know in print on demand, we could be selling one t-shirt blank, but there are 10 or 15 or 20 other blanks that we could use, and the prices are gonna be different among all those blanks. So we can shift our products to other blanks. But if your print on demand provider or your supplier does raise prices, you might wanna consider raising your costs to the customer as well to keep those margins consistent. And number 4, consider selling high margin products. So in print on demand and in e-commerce in general, there are so many products that have way different margins. Some products have as high as 60 or 70% margins. Some products have 20 or 30% margins. So if you can add products to your store that have higher margins, this might help you balance out some of the added costs you could have by just selling these higher margin products. For example, selling print on demand jewelry has way higher margins than many other print on demand products. It's the same thing with wall art. So even if those costs do go up in some of those other product categories, if you add those products to your store, it could help you offset some of the costs you might have in some of the more common categories. As I wrap up this video, I want to encourage you to not be fearful during this time. Yes, the landscape is changing. It might be temporary or it might have lasting effects, both negative or positive. Take the stance that you're gonna change as needed. You're gonna keep learning, keep growing. Here's one thing that's for sure. People are not going to stop buying products. There will always be great opportunity in this space. The question is, will you continue to take imperfect action in the face of change and adversity? You got this.